All right, in this section we're going to cover the why behind personalized learning, because we're not doing it just because it's the hottest new thing in education. We're doing it for some real, solid, concrete reasons. So here we go. One of the first things that personalized learning helps combat is learned helplessness. In the past 30 years that I've been in education, I have seen the teacher do more and more and more to help kids learn more or get better grades. And in a sense, we're doing everything for the kids. We're giving them the notes, we're giving them outlines where they can just fill in the words because they can't take notes fast enough. We are giving them study guides. It's all on the teacher. So there is this learned helplessness that is carrying over outside. It's overflowing from the classroom into real life. And so what's happened is students are not able to make their own decisions. You know, they're graduating from high school and they think that they are ready to go, but then you find out that they're not really ready to go. So, and this, it has nothing to do with socioeconomics. It has nothing to do with intelligence level. It has everything to do with the fact that students are going for 13 years from K to 12 without ever making a choice about their learning, right? They can't even decide when is a good time to go to the bathroom. They have to raise their hand. So learned helplessness is one of the top reasons why personalized learning is so powerful. So student empowerment is the flip side of that coin. Personalized learning really puts the onus on students. And in a sense, it empowers them to start exercising choice. Another reason why personalized learning is powerful is that the focus is on the student and not the teacher. It's no longer about the teacher. It's not about the teacher standing at the front of the room and all of the students being compliant. Now the focus is on the student and what the student needs. So the research shows that those students are happier and they are learning more because they're happier. They are content. So the shift there of the work is to the student. So we're moving back to the student doing more of the work instead of the teacher. And that is not just to speak about workload, but really to speak about learning. Because if I'm trying to teach someone how to ride a bike, and if I just keep showing you how to do it, you can't do it until you get on the bike, right? So I often say that to my students who think they're helping other students by doing it for them, especially on computers. And I'll say to them, point to it, talk them through it, but don't touch their computer. Let them do the work because that's how they're going to learn. So the shift is very important in personalizing competency-based learning. So the move is away from lecture because when I'm lecturing, I'm doing everything. We're also utilizing technology to assist us. So 10 years ago when I was still in the classroom, we were starting to be told to pre-test and post-test. And as an English teacher, I could just barely post-test and get things graded and in the grade book and moving along to the next quiz or the next test. But today, if I had the technology then that I have today, I could pre-test and figure out what my kids know and then move from there. So it's really more of a concept of a doctor's office than it is the traditional education, and I'll get into that more later. So the personalized learning also gives us an opportunity to address gaps in learning because through the personalized learning, the classroom is structured differently. So because of the structure, I have students that are working at different paces, and that is going to free up time for me to meet with kids in small groups. It also Personalized learning also addresses student likes and dislikes because, again, it is student-centered. It is not teacher-centered. The teacher, now that we have the internet, the teacher used to be the owner of all knowledge. But now what's happened is anybody can own the knowledge. All they have to do is look it up, right? And so the skill is in what you do with that information. And again, the teacher cannot show someone how to think critically. The student has to do it himself. All right, so it's all about the student. And then, of course, we want to increase learning. That's our bottom line in education, is to increase learning. And the way that we do that is from everything that is above. Okay, now, some other factors that are involved here. This was an employer survey, and these are the top things that employers are seeking on a candidate's resume. And you might find that these look an awful lot like the portrait of a graduate for your school district or for your state. So communication skills, written. We do a lot of that, right? K-12. So we should be strong with that. Now, if we're talking about email skills, then we might come up weak, right? Problem-solving skills. The ones that are bold-faced are the ones that we're not doing a real good job right now in traditional education. So 82% communication, problem-solving skills, 80.9% asked for that. This is the employer percent that asked for it. Ability to work in a team. We cannot teach that if our kids are sitting in rows. And this is what we're setting our kids up for, right? Initiative. We certainly cannot teach that by opening up Beowulf and having kids read it, right? Analytical quantitative skills. We do a good job of that. Strong work ethic. We cannot teach that, at least not in a traditional setting, right? Teaching coding has a lot to do with strong work ethic, right? Or grit, having kids stick to a problem. Communication skills. Our kids are falling behind. And I can back that up with my own 4 children. My children are bright, but they cannot pick up a phone and call a store and ask a question. They are absolutely petrified, right? Speaking one-on-one with people, they are polite, but they're nervous. So we need to give them more opportunity to do that. Leadership. This is being reserved just for the top echelon, right? To become, to get into the leadership course, or to be a leader in the National Honor Society. What about the rest of the kids, right? We need leaders at all levels for all jobs. Detail-oriented. That is something that a person has to learn by working it through. You have a project, you miss something. How are you going to track it? Technical skills. We can only do that if our kids are doing something technical. Flexibility, adaptability. This comes in with coding again. Or, I didn't get it this time. How long am I going to work on it until I get it? Computer skills is something that we can only do if the kids have a computer. Interpersonal skills. This is another thing that our kids now with their phones, they want to text. They don't want to talk to people. They don't necessarily relate well to others. Do we have empathy? Do we put ourselves in other people's shoes? Organizational ability is another thing. Kids are never asked to organize because the teachers do it all for them. We set it up for them. We show them how to use our system. In personalized learning, students are exposed to different systems, and then they're asked to pick one that might work well for them. But they're also asked to see if they can modify it to make it better. So, there is a certain degree of instruction, but then it's the let them fly mentality, right? Let them try it out. Let them figure it out. Struggle is a good thing. Strategic planning skills. Again, we do it all for our kids. Tactfulness. How often do our kids even get to talk, right? And this is where discussions in class are so important. And we can do tactfulness not with personalized learning, right? But teaching sentence stems is all very important. Creativity is something that we've got to get more of. Our economy now is based on creativity, right? Create an app. What does somebody need? See a problem, solve a problem. See a need, fill a need. Friendly, outgoing personality. That's perhaps something that is you're born with, but you can learn to be polite. Entrepreneurial skills, risk taker. How would we know that our kids have those skills if we do not give them the opportunity to do something that is entrepreneurial? And then fluency in a foreign language, we do pretty well in our foreign language skills. So here's another chart. Now this is called the Jenkins Curve. It's gotten a lot of attention. And this is because he charted loss of enthusiasm for school. Now, I'm just going to tell you one thing that I realized, because I actually found the original article that he wrote as a superintendent. And he actually surveyed teachers about their students instead of surveying the students. So I'd be interested to see what the actual student percentage would be coming from the mouths of babes, right? So at kindergarten, the teachers assessed that 95% of their kids were happy at kindergarten coming to school. And then at fourth grade, it's already dropped to 74% of kids enjoy school. And then by ninth grade, it's dropped all the way to 37%. 37%. That's 2/3 of the kids who are unhappy. Only a third come to school happy and love learning. My own children have told me, Mom, people don't love learning the way you love learning. I just go to school because I have to be there. Which of course breaks my heart because I enjoyed school, because I enjoy learning. And that's probably why I became a teacher, because I fit in well in that environment. But what about the kids who don't naturally fit in? Right? Personalizing can help them to fit in. It can help us to meet their needs. These are the top 10 reasons that kids hate school. They're bored. That's the number one reason. They are bored. So why are they bored? Just because we're excited about our content doesn't mean everybody is. They're stressed. The excess hours that they have to put in. Homework, bullying, self-esteem issues. And self-esteem issues means that they don't like going to school because they don't feel confident at school, right? Why? Because they're not achieving. And so we need to help them achieve, not by dumbing things down, right? But by scaffolding and by helping them achieve and by celebrating growth. And we do that in, for sure, a competency-based system and a personalized system. Having to be around people they don't like, rules and regulations, lack of freedom to choose. And this comes to student agency and that whole learned helplessness, right? I never get to choose anything, and by the time I graduate, I don't know how to choose anything because I never have been given the opportunity, right? So when you say, oh, pick the person on this list that you want to research, is that a choice? Yes. Is that a choice that really took some deep strategizing thought? Not really, right? And then, of course, pointless learning. The kids don't understand why they need to know something. So if we are using project-based learning or problem-based learning, they're built in is the process of I need to figure out how to get this to fit. Is there algebra involved in that, right? So the problem-based learning and the project-based learning really lend themselves to students understanding, oh, this is important for me to know because it's helping me achieve a task. Okay, in the next activity, you are going to be watching this video, all right? And in that video, it's going to explain what personalized learning is, but I think it more describes why personalized learning is important to kids. And then after you finish that up, then we're going to move on to the next activity. What I'd like to do is ask you to please comment at the end of the lecture so that you can process the information. So give us your aha moments, and also please reflect on what are your wonderings. So if we consistently do that, then you will be processing the information. So what are your big takeaways? What questions do you still have? We can call them your ahas and your wonderings.